So you made a bit of a charge late, but it was very similar to the last time you came to AAMI Park this year. Very few chances in the probably first hour or so. What did you make of your performance?
Oh, I think that big difference to the last time we played City, we actually had quality chances tonight to finish. Like, even though we had just 4 shots, I think 3 out of the 4 shots are actually proper, like, big chances. I think victory in the end, they had, I think, maybe 6 shots in that last 7-8 minutes, but we were just chasing the game, so it probably skewed the numbers a little bit. I was happy for a large part. I mean, if you look at the balance of the game, I think the most disappointing thing is like Corbin and Costa are in their box, miss-hit a pass, which would have led to a big chance, and we get counted and we get done on transition. It was probably a poor goal to concede, to be fair, especially when you're in that position. But that pass sticks, or it's a little bit more in front, we could be talking about a 1-0 victory as opposed to a 1-0 defeat. So fine margins.
Was it the fact that you had to wait almost 70 minutes or 70th minute for your first shot on goal? Was that a bit disappointing as well?
Not really, because look, I don't sit. I don't sit on the bench thinking, the more shots we have, the more we're going to have, goals. For us, it's about quality of chances, opening up the right areas. If you see a lot of our goals, cutbacks and so on, and it's all done by design. So, again, I keep stressing to the boys, it's more about the quality. You can have 2 chances in a game. If they're both quality chances, you can win 2-0. You can have 20 shots in a game, and if they're all like half chances outside the box, I'm not really sure that they're clear. Maybe you might get 1 or 2 by fluke, but we don't work like that. We're very methodical in the way we want to build up and create our chances. So, was it frustrating? It was the 70th, probably. I think we could have hurt them, especially in the first half. We had 2-3 big transition moments where we stepped forward and won the ball. And to be fair, I think, it was one thing that we showed at halftime was even the fullbacks were tracking our attackers all the way in, and our opposite fullback could get on the ball. We just couldn't find that last pass, or we tried to be a little bit more direct as well today because we felt like the defensive line was a little bit staggered or stepping forward and couldn't deal well with the long ball. But it was just that last quality pass and so on that we just couldn't, execute on.
Felt like you came with a starting 11, had a lot of, I guess by name at least, defenders. Can you talk us through the choice, the starting lineup?
Yeah, I would. Until someone noted it after the game, I didn't really look at it like that. There's a lot of versatility in the squad. So Shez is a player that can play fullback, centre back, 6. Can play as a winger. He's literally played everywhere this year. Corbs as well. Can play right back. Can play as an attacker. His primary position was the number 10 from where we scouted him. And then I think Costa, Shigi are attackers. Paulo Retres is out and out 6. So maybe Cass on the left-hand side. It's probably more of a defensive output, but that's probably more to do with the fact that we wanted to nullify their wingers with 2 players just to make it easier. We've done it now for a couple of weeks. We found it quite effective, especially away from home. So we just went for the same formula. And for a large part, I actually thought we defended pretty well in the first half. I thought everything that we planned for worked quite well. And then we're kind of hoping that when we make the changes and injection more, creativity towards the back end, that would change the game. But unfortunately, we conceded before we could make those big changes.
No, so a lot of this would have been even before your time. I think it's 23 appearances at AAMI Park without a win here.
Yeah.
And against Victory, it goes back to, I think, 2017 here. What's so difficult about this venue?
I don't know. I think I mentioned it might be the water, or I actually don't know. I don't think it's the dimension of the pitch or the actual, the grass, or it's just, and I don't think we even speak about it. I don't think there's anything in the group that goes, we're playing Victory. I think there's been times here where we've been unlucky. I remember we played Melbourne City here second year. I think it was with Uffy, and McLaren scored a free kick in the last second. We were up 2-1. We should have got a victory there. And we've always teered it around, winning, but just one of those things.
Derby next.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your approach to that one? Obviously, coming off a loss, you always want a response, and they've had your number so far.
Yeah, so a great opportunity. I don't need to motivate the group. I was just saying that on the panel before. Boys will be up for it, especially the homegrown boys. I think that it'll be another big derby, and I was just saying that probably the best game of the season was last year. The best game of the season so far was last week between Wanderers and Sydney, and I think we want to match that. We want to give our fans something to be proud of as well, and match Auckland. So Auckland are deservedly first at the moment, but we're going to go there and try to spoil the party.
Yeah, you had 8 players, 23 years of age or under, featured in the squad, 6 in the starting 11. So,
sure.
After a poor Christmas and New Year's period, are you starting to see them gel a bit better in the recent last month?
Yeah, so this has probably been the most challenging thing as a coach for the coaching staff as well. I've made no secret that the starting 11 that I desired at the beginning of the season that we planned for, we've had 2 halves of football all year. And we've had a lot of players in and out, but that's no excuse because those young boys have stepped in, and they're getting a apprenticeship a lot sooner than what they would have expected. And like even today, what I was really happy with, Luke Brooks-Smith had a really big chance when he cut back in, showed a little bit more composure than what he did when he played against Melbourne City. So again, I look at the long picture. If he keeps playing, we keep chipping away and developing those players. Next year they'll be a little bit more effective, and the year after when they get to 18, 19, hopefully with the right squad around them, they'll be very effective players. So, that goes with Walks. Shez has been playing now regularly. Hughesy feels like he's an old player for us. He's 20 years old, and it's his second year. So, I'm really, really pleased with all those players. Can't fault their effort. And again, on the flip side of this, they're learning quickly, which is really, really, beneficial for them and for the club.
By the end of the weekend, you could find yourselves 8 points out of the 6 with 10 games to go in your season. Has crunch time arrived for your club officially?
Yeah, I'm not sure officially. I was part of the group in second season where we got relocated for COVID in Sydney, and we went through. I think we won 1 out of the first 10 games, or two games, correct me if I'm wrong, and a couple of draws. And everyone had basically written us off. And we had re-signed Tails from overseas, and we started getting players back from injury. And then we made a crazy run. And I don't know if you remember, we ended up drawing against Perth in Auckland, and we just missed out on the 6 by 1 point. I'm always the optimist and believer, especially with this group, that once we get all our players back, I think we can make a significant run still. Whether that gets us into the 6 or not, I'm not really sure. It's true, we are running out of games. But the belief in the group is that we can definitely, put a run of games together and get close to the 6. So I think I was mentioning to someone the other day that if we had picked up maximum points against Mariners in Brisbane, we would have been 3 points off third, which is crazy, which shows you how close the competition is. Again, today, my focus was probably not making sure that victory don't win, because it's essentially a 6-pointer, which makes it more difficult. But again, it's really going to come down to who the 6th team is and whether we can get close enough. And if you win the last 7 games out of the season, that still puts us, I don't even know how many points we're on. I think we're on 19. It'll put us on 40 points. So there's always hope.
I guess, does that add a bit more spice to the big derby next week, I guess? The fact that, I guess, as you say, you are running out of games.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of context to the game. It's bragging rights within New Zealand. Again, it'd be nice to also halt their progress to being number 1. As well, it gives us the story of also keeping our season alive. And there's a lot of nice stories, a lot of stories for the media, which would be great. But again, it's the sort of game where I don't need to motivate the players. So the game will look after itself.
Just last, any injury concerns out of tonight? There was a little period where everyone was dropping, and you got Alex back as well, which is obviously such a boost towards this run to the end.
Yeah, there might be some issues with some concussion. I'm not sure yet. We're going to go through that now, waiting for the docs. to give the all clear. Payne was only supposed to play 60, ended up playing 90 today, so I was really happy with that, which means that he'll be able to back up in the derby, which is good. And great to see Roofs on the park. Probably not 100%, but still changed the game when he came on. You know, he was very composed, and I was very happy with his efforts. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Probably tomorrow we'll get a fair idea what's going to happen.
Who are you concerned about, sorry, with the concussion?
Concussion, probably Shez. Matt Sheridan, he went up for a tackle, and potentially even Hughesy. I'm not sure yet, but I'll have to ask. Yep. Thank you. Cheers, guys.